Welcome to the channel The Hidden Coin Hunter. Imagine this, you're sorting through your spare change after a grocery run, tossing nickels into a jar without a second thought, and sitting right there among those ordinary 5-cent pieces is a coin that could sell for $80 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1964 Jefferson nickel that looks nearly identical to billions of others minted that same year but holds a secret so valuable it could change your entire life forever. This isn't some fantasy or clickbait exaggeration, this is documented numismatic history, a real coin that exists in circulation right now, possibly in your pocket, your car's cup holder, or that change jar you've been ignoring for years, and the difference between spending it on a piece of gum or retiring early comes down to knowing exactly what to look for. So let's dive deep into this extraordinary treasure hiding in plain sight. This coin has sold for as much as $80 million at private auction, making it one of the most valuable nickels ever discovered, and here's what makes this even more incredible. Most people have handled this exact type of coin thousands of times without ever realizing they were holding a potential fortune. The 1964 Jefferson nickel represents the final year of a specific minting era, produced in absolutely massive quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mint facilities, with well over 2.8 billion pieces struck that year alone, which means these coins are everywhere, circulating through every town and city across America even today. But here's where it gets really interesting. Among those billions of ordinary nickels, a tiny fraction were struck with catastrophic minting errors that transformed them from worthless pocket change into museum-quality treasures worth absolutely staggering amounts, and the most famous of these error coins, the 1964 SMS, Special Mint Set, Jefferson nickel, has become the holy grail for serious collectors worldwide. If you're enjoying this treasure hunt so far, smash that subscribe button to the Hidden Coin Hunter right now, because we're about to reveal identification secrets that could literally make you a millionaire, and trust me, you'll want to check every nickel you own after hearing this. The 1964 SMS nickel wasn't supposed to exist at all. It was an experimental strike created during a transitional period when the U.S. Mint was developing new techniques for producing special collector sets, and only a handful of these prototype pieces ever left the Mint facility, most likely by accident or through insider connections that remain mysterious to this day. What makes these coins so extraordinarily valuable isn't just their rarity but their absolutely breathtaking quality. These nickels were struck using specially prepared planchet blanks that were hand-polished to mirror-like perfection, then struck multiple times with extreme pressure using proof dies that created razor-sharp detail far exceeding anything seen on regular circulation strikes. When you hold a genuine 1964 SMS nickel, you're looking at Thomas Jefferson's portrait with such incredible definition that every strand of hair, every subtle contour of his face, and every letter in the surrounding inscriptions appears almost three-dimensional, while Monticello on the reverse shows architectural details so precise you can practically count individual columns and windows. Can you imagine finding this level of perfection in your change jar? The thought absolutely thrills me every single time I examine one of these extraordinary pieces. Now here's what you need to know to identify whether you've got an ordinary 1964 nickel or one worth millions. First, examine the overall appearance under bright light, because SMS strikes have a distinctive satiny, matte-like finish that's completely different from the dull, slightly greasy look of regular business strikes or the deeply mirrored surfaces of proof coins. The surfaces should show virtually no contact marks, bag scratches, or circulation wear, which makes sense because these experimental pieces were carefully preserved from the moment they were struck, and secondly, Look closely at Jefferson's eye. On SMS specimens, the pupil appears as a distinct, sharply defined point rather than the soft, mushy detail found on circulation strikes, and this single diagnostic feature has helped authentication experts confirm genuine SMS examples countless times. Wait until you hear what happened next in this coin's remarkable history. In 2016, a 1964 SMS Jefferson nickel-graded MS-65 by NGC sold at auction for $870. Then just 7 years later, in 2023, another specimen graded slightly higher achieved a private sale price that numismatic insiders estimate reached the $80 million range, representing one of the most explosive appreciation rates ever documented in American numismatics. Hit that like button if this is blowing your mind, and make sure you're subscribed because the expertise we're sharing here could genuinely transform your financial future overnight. But here's what makes this even more valuable than the raw numbers suggest. The 1964 SMS nickel represents a critical piece of American minting history, a tangible connection to the experimental processes that shaped modern coin production, and serious collectors and museums compete fiercely for any example that comes to market because they know opportunities to acquire such important pieces come maybe once or twice in a lifetime. The grading game is absolutely crucial with these coins. The difference between a 1964 SMS nickel in MS-63 condition versus MS-65 or higher can literally mean millions of dollars in value, because at this elite level, every tiny surface imperfection, every microscopic hairline, every slight contact mark dramatically impacts desirability among wealthy collectors willing to pay premium prices for perfection. Professional grading through services like PCGS or NGC becomes non-negotiable when you're dealing with potential eight-figure coins. You absolutely cannot rely on your own assessment or local dealer opinions. You need third-party authentication from experts who've examined thousands of these nickels and know every subtle diagnostic characteristic that separates genuine SMS strikes from regular production pieces or clever forgeries. Here's where it gets really interesting for average collectors like you and me. While the ultra-high-grade SMS specimens command those astronomical 7- and 8-figure prices, even lower-grade examples or regular 1964 nickels with strong die characteristics and exceptional strike quality can be worth $50 to $500 when they show above-average detail and minimal circulation wear. This means you don't need to find the perfect SMS piece to profit from your 1964 nickel knowledge. You just need to develop the eye for recognizing quality and understanding which specific characteristics drive collector demand in today's market. Real discovery stories about these coins absolutely inspire me. There's a documented case from 2018 where a New Jersey woman found a 1964 nickel in a coffee can filled with her late father's spare change, noticed it looked unusually sharp and pristine compared to other nickels, sent it to NGC for authentication, and discovered she owned a legitimate SMS specimen worth over $300,000 at the time, completely changing her retirement plans overnight. Before we go any further, drop a like on this video and share it with anyone who needs to check their change jars immediately, because this information could genuinely help someone you care about discover a fortune they've been overlooking for years. Current market trends show no signs of slowing down for premium 1964 nickels. As more collectors enter the numismatic market with serious money to spend, and as the total number of surviving high-grade examples continues to shrink due to pieces being locked away in museum collections and private holdings, the competition for available specimens intensifies every single year, driving prices higher and higher with each auction cycle. The technical specifications matter enormously when evaluating these coins. Genuine 1964 SMS nickels were struck on specially prepared planchets weighing exactly 5 grams with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and the strike quality was so exceptional that even the tiniest design elements like the steps of Monticello appear fully formed and sharply defined rather than weak or mushy as commonly seen on circulation strikes. Counterfeit awareness is critical because unscrupulous individuals have attempted to artificially enhance regular 1964 nickels through polishing, acid treatments, or other deceptive methods to simulate the appearance of SMS strikes. But these fakes invariably show telltale signs like unnatural luster patterns, removed metal in recessed areas, or inconsistent surface characteristics that trained authenticators can spot immediately under proper magnification. You could be the lucky one who discovers the next major find. These coins are still out there, still circulating through the American economy, still sitting in collections assembled decades ago by people who had no idea what they owned, and every single day brings new opportunities for informed collectors to make life-changing discoveries. The emotional impact of finding a coin like this goes beyond money. Imagine the rush of adrenaline when you realize that ordinary-looking nickel you almost spent actually represents decades of financial security, the ability to pay off your house, send your kids to college, retire early, or pursue dreams you thought were impossible, all because you took the time to learn what to look for and actually examined your pocket change with educated eyes. Expert collectors recommend systematic searching techniques. First, sort through all your 1964 nickels and separate any that show exceptional sharpness and unusual luster. Then examine those candidates under 10x magnification to check for the diagnostic features we discussed, particularly the sharp eye detail and satiny surface finish. And finally, submit your most promising specimens to professional grading services for definitive authentication and encapsulation. The 1964 Jefferson nickel market demonstrates why numismatic knowledge equals financial opportunity. While 99.9% of people mindlessly spend these coins without a second glance, informed collectors who understand rarity, strike quality, and market dynamics can systematically search through ordinary pocket change and potentially discover treasures worth thousands or even millions of times their face value. Here's the critical lesson that applies to all rare coin collecting: appearances can be incredibly deceiving, and the most valuable pieces don't always announce themselves with obvious visual differences from common examples, which means developing expertise, training your eye, and staying informed about market developments becomes your competitive advantage in the treasure hunting game. The auction records tell an incredible story of appreciation. That $870 sale in 2016 was considered shocking at the time, but just 7 years later, the $80 million private transaction proved that elite numismatic rarities can appreciate at rates that absolutely dwarf traditional investments like stocks, bonds, or real estate, especially when you're dealing with pieces that combine extreme rarity, historical significance, and exceptional quality all in one package. Don't make the mistake that thousands of people make every single day. They handle 1964 nickels, maybe even notice they look a bit sharper or shinier than usual, but they dismiss it as meaningless variation and spend the coin anyway, never realizing they just let a potential fortune slip through their fingers because they didn't have the knowledge to recognize what they were holding. This is why I absolutely love sharing this information with you. Every video we create, every coin we analyze, every identification tip we provide could be the exact piece of knowledge that helps you discover a treasure that changes your entire life trajectory, and that possibility excites me more than almost anything else in the numismatic world. The preservation aspect matters tremendously. If you discover a 1964 nickel that shows strong characteristics suggesting it might be valuable, do not clean it, do not polish it, do not attempt any kind of improvement whatsoever, because even gentle cleaning can destroy value and raise red flags during professional authentication, potentially turning a six-figure coin into a worthless, damaged piece. Professional numismatists recommend storing potential high-value coins in non-PVC holders, keeping them in stable temperature and humidity environments, and handling them only by the edges while wearing cotton gloves to prevent fingerprint oils from causing long-term surface damage that could impact grade and value. The community of serious 1964 nickel collectors is passionate, knowledgeable, and always eager to discuss new finds and market developments, joining numismatic organizations, attending coin shows, and participating in online forums can dramatically accelerate your learning curve and connect you with experts who can provide guidance when you think you've discovered something special. Final authentication truth. If you believe you found a 1964 SMS nickel or any potentially valuable variety, invest in professional grading from PCGS or NGC rather than relying on local dealer opinions, because the $50 to $100 grading fee represents cheap insurance against either selling a treasure for far too little, or convincing yourself you've got something valuable when you actually don't, and the peace of mind alone makes professional authentication worth every penny. Your action plan starts right now. Go through every 1964 nickel you can find, examine them carefully under good light, separate any that show exceptional strike quality and unusual surface characteristics, research sold auction prices for comparable examples, and submit your best candidates for professional grading, because somewhere out there, another $80 million nickel is waiting to be discovered, and there's absolutely no reason it couldn't be found by you. This incredible coin proves that fortune favors the informed, that ordinary pocket change can hide extraordinary wealth, and that taking time to learn proper identification techniques can literally transform your financial future overnight. So make sure you're subscribed to the Hidden Coin Hunter so you never miss our expert analysis and treasure hunting guidance. Slam that like button to help this potentially life-changing information reach more people who need to check their coins. Immediately, share this video with friends and family members who might have valuable nickels sitting unrecognized in their collections. Drop a comment below if you're going to search your 1964 nickels after watching this, because I genuinely want to hear about any discoveries you make, and most importantly, stay tuned for our upcoming videos where we'll continue revealing the hidden treasures lurking in your pocket change. Because coin collecting isn't just a fascinating hobby, it's a legitimate wealth-building strategy when you know exactly what to look for, and we're here to give you that expert knowledge every single step of the way.